Hi there. So about a week ago, I made this video where I was asking this question as to whether Egypt's military deployment to Somalia will turn Somalia into a proxy war battleground. Now, I want to basically make a recap of that video. And tensions between Egypt and Ethiopia have increased further after Egypt signed a defense pact with Somalia, and now Egypt is making moves to send troops, weapons, and ammunition to Somalia. The two countries are also planning to hold joint military exercises, including with ground, air, and naval forces. The partnership between Egypt and Somalia has angered Ethiopia, which is already at odds with Egypt over Ethiopia's construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which threatens to interfere with the water and irrigation supply downstream in Egypt. While Ethiopia is moving ahead with the project in order to generate much-needed electricity, Egypt is understandably concerned with the impact that the dam could have on its population of 106 million people, which is dependent on the Nile River for nearly all of its freshwater needs. At risk, say the Egyptians, are its food supply and hundreds of thousands who rely on agriculture for jobs and basic sustenance. Egypt recently wrote a letter to the United Nations Security Council protesting what it labeled as Ethiopia's pursuit of unilateral policies on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam project. So as for Somalia and Ethiopia and Somalia remain at loggerheads after Ethiopia initiated a port deal with Somaliland, which is a breakaway part of Somalia. Now, Mogadishu fears that in exchange for access to the port at Somaliland, Ethiopia could recognize the territory as an independent sovereign country. Somaliland declared that it was seceding from Somalia more than 3 decades ago, though Mogadishu still recognizes it as part of Somalia. Neither the African Union nor the United Nations recognize Somaliland as an independent state. As part of the reaction, for example, Somalia has threatened to expel 10,000 Ethiopian troops presently in the country as part of the African Union peacekeeping force. The Egyptian troops are expected to help with training as well as protecting Somalia institutions and high-profile politicians. With Egypt sending troops to Somalia, it is unclear as of yet if Egypt's deployment is intended to be a backfill or a substitute to Ethiopia's troops, although that seems likely, because if you look at where these 10,000 Egyptians, yes, Egypt is sending 10,000 troops. So if you look at the territory where these 10,000 Egyptian troops are supposed to come and be stationed, it is the same territory near the border with Ethiopia, the same territory that the Ethiopian troops who are about to be expelled currently operate from. So it's like Somalia is replacing these Ethiopian troops with Egyptian troops. And even if Somalia was to let the Ethiopian troops remain there, there are already growing concerns about Egyptian and Ethiopian troops operating in the same area of responsibility, but also concerned from Ethiopia that it will have Egyptian troops just over its border. Ethiopia's foreign ministry released a statement that said it cannot stand idle while other actors are taking measures to destabilize the region and threaten their security. So that is what the Ethiopian foreign ministry said. The political wrangling has weakened the counter-terrorism fight against Al-Shabaab, which continues to wreak havoc in Somalia and operate with near impunity. Islamic State is also in Somalia. It maintains a presence in Somalia in the region of Puntland, further complicating the terrorism threat landscape in Somalia. It's funny how in a span of a year, Somalia has managed to attract all these big countries to come to its defense. Anyway, so Turkey is another country. So Turkish-led peace talks between Somalia and Ethiopia have failed to gain traction, at least to this date. Although Turkey claims it remains committed to brokering an agreement as it looks to spread its own influence in the Horn of Africa. Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud claims that Somalia is prepared to engage in economic and development cooperation with Ethiopia as long as Ethiopia rescinds or pulls out of the deal or the agreement they made with Somaliland and declares that they recognize Somaliland as part of Somalia, which Ethiopia has not done or they have refused to do. Now, the other thing is that Turkey has signed a 10-year defense deal with Somalia, so that in this deal, Turkey will send naval support, that is naval ship, corvettes, destroyers and submarines to the coast of Somalia or off the coast of Somalia to defend Somalia, and as well as defend exploration vessels that will be prospecting for oil and gas off the coasts of Somalia. So Turkey is there to defend Somali interests. So it means these countries know something that we don't. That maybe Somalia has a lot of this oil, a lot of crude oil potential. And there are countries that are there to ensure Somalia doesn't explore for these resources. And a lot of people were saying that Egypt and Turkey don't see eye to eye, and that Turkey will not appreciate Egypt stationing the 10,000 troops that they intend to send to Somalia. But apparently, as these deals are going on, the Turkish leader Recep Tayyip Erdogan recently hosted the Egyptian president Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for the first time ever in about 10 years. So it was el-Sisi's first time ever visit to Turkey, where the two leaders pledged to continue improving bilateral ties while also working to address a number of regional concerns. Now, I don't want to speculate or say that Somalia is involved in bringing them together, but it could be, because Turkey wants to explore for oil and gas off the coast of Somalia, and there is a high chance that they're going to find that oil, while at the same time Egypt wants to really station these 10,000 troops on the Somali-Ethiopian border because of the Nile water. Egypt needs this. They need to be in a position where they can quickly invade Ethiopia and secure their water back. So it's a win-win situation for all of these countries, but Somalia is the greatest winner here.